Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, I am very proud and very happy to be here tonight. And I have to thank Thaddeus Man to give me this opportunity. I have to thank also Osman Daoud, whose roots are so well still in Nubia that he is doing a politic to save Nubia and to do promoting this country. It is what I tried to do from 50 years ago. Because Nubia is an extraordinary countryside. And all the Sudan today, you will see what show my work, that Kerma is not only Kerma, it is connected with Central Sudan. And when I think to speak about the first kingdom of Kerma, I know that there are many kingdoms connected with Kerma. There is a kind of cooperation for exchange between the North Egypt and the Mediterranean Sea and the Central Sudan. Darfur, Kordofan, Kassala. Near? I will speak near. And well, Kassala also with our Italian friends. They did a very interesting work there. And also the famous legendary country of Punt, near the Red Sea. And during the last years, we saw all along the Red Sea that Punt was very important. And we know that Punt king came many times in Kerma to defend the countryside against the Egyptian armies. Well, when I came to Sudan for the first time, so many people told me, but there is no history here. Everything in Egypt, you have to go to Egypt to work. Here you lost your time. But after 50 years, I can say that I didn't lose my time. I am sure that the richness of the past of the Sudan is extraordinary. It is more the history of a continent, the connection with Central Africa, with South Africa are clear today. And naturally, we try to promote this region. For this reason, I am so happy to be here, and I have to thank the responsible of this house to be so proud of the identity of Sudan, of the history of this country. Well, tonight I have to show you a little part of this huge work done during the last years. We will see maybe a little less Noor. Well, everybody here remembers the Defufa. And this Defufa, when I came for the first time, it was very strange because George Reisner, 100 years ago, was thinking that it was the low part of a palace of a governor coming from Egypt. And when I came for the first time, I was thinking that it was something else. Another specialist coming from Spain told me, well, you are very lucky to study so enormous church in Sudan. But after some work, we know actually that on this place, people of Kerma rebuilt 40 or 50 times new buildings, religious buildings. It is a central temple in the middle of the old city of Kerma. And I just finished a research on the urbanism of this country, of this town. And what we understood, that from all Kerma, that's mean at the beginning of the history of the Empire of Egypt, we have a town, very strange town, with a very strange town with a huge road going from the north to the south. On both sides, the official organization is clear. On this side, you can see that we have a religious quarter under the Nefufa. It is 2,500 years before Christ. And on this side, it is the palace of the king. And you have here from the beginning an audience hall, round in shape. That naturally shows that there is some round buildings connected with Africa. The other one are connected with the north, with the Mediterranean Sea, with town, and with Egypt, naturally. And we are in a territory between South Central Africa and Mediterranean. And the architecture is a reflect of that. We can see easily that you have houses square in shape and anywhere, and you have some time to build round buildings. Strange thing, we have surrounding wall around the houses, and these surrounding wall are also round and ovals. Well, the conditions of work are sometimes very difficult, and we had to clean the surface to find the mud breaks, and we reach immediately the level of 2000 or something before Christ. And this, naturally, it's very complicated technically. And you can see here another town of Kerma. It is later. The first one was 2,400 before Christ. This is more or less 2,000 and 1,800 before Christ. And you can see that many houses are still the same or different or bigger, it depends. We have also this main street passing in the middle, and on both sides official building. Here religious building, here the king building. And the strange thing is that we understood that this road was protected with huge fortification all around. It is strange. In the middle of the city, you have a protection on both sides of this road. You can see here protection of this road. But you have also all around the city protection with ditches, canal, sometimes with water, and with huge walls. That means this wall, this street in the middle, this way in the middle, it's a royal way. And it is naturally very interesting because in Egypt we have so few examples of city like this one. That means we have very few possibility of comparison. And as you know, the archaeologists are working with comparison, trying to understand the connection and the way of the influences. This gives you an idea what we are doing, and immediately we had a problem to save the remains. There is here somebody coming from the Restore school, very well known around Europe about the restoration work in Italy, in Rome. And well, you find an enormous town like this one, you have to preserve the things for tourism, for schools, to show the remains, to explain how it was organized. And it is a complex city. And this was, by chance for me, a revelation, because it is not very well known in Egypt. And actually, so many people are interested in our work, thinking that we have here the beginning of a very old city, and the roots of this part of the country is more and more clear. But we have to preserve for you, for your son. And who managed to preserve? This was one of the first problems, restoration work. Here you have another town. It is the last level. That's mean 1,500, 700 before Christ. Just at the beginning of a very important period for Nubia, where the Egyptians arrived with the army and colonized this region. And here you have all the remains of this Nubian town before the arrival of the Egyptian. And still we have the strait marked here, protected with many fortification walls, and all around fortification enormous from time to time in stone and in mud brick or in gallows. It depends many times. This is the reason why we choose to do restoration work, and you will understand afterward how it is organized. One, at the beginning, I was sure that Kerma was a Nubian town, and here, Tukigel, at more or less 700 meters to the north, was an Egyptian town, done during the colonization, but followed afterward by a temple and a huge building of the Nabatan period, the Meroitic period. But during 5 years ago, I had the surprise to find an old Nubian town of the same period of the Defufa. You must remember that the Defufa on the last stage is belonging to a period of more or less 1,600 before Christ. And the Egyptians arrived afterwards. You have here an idea about the site of Tukigel with classical temple of the Egyptian period. This is, for example, a sanctuary of Tutmosis I. It is an extraordinary period, archaeologically and historically speaking, because Egypt is at the highest level of evolution, with the main king known actually like Tutankhamun, like Akhenaton, like Tutmosis Amenophis. And during this period, Kerma is at its highest level. And you have to think that the kingdom of Kerma go from the 5th cataract till Aswan, more or less. That means an enormous kingdom, but still in many places all unknown. And by chance, at the beginning I was looking at this temple, as you saw, classical temple of the Egyptian period or later period. But 5 years ago, we found these extraordinary buildings. Here, for example, small temples in shape of flower. It is a completely new architecture, completely made unknown. unknown in Africa, unknown in the north. We found also another temple here. And the wall of a huge city of 200 meter by 100 meter. Here inside, in interior wall, naturally, we try to keep all the remains. And here it is only